If your engagement has been low, if posting's starting to feel pointless, if you're wondering why your content feels like a waste of time, you are not alone. But here's the truth, posting isn't pointless. Flat engagement doesn't mean your business is failing, and it definitely doesn't mean your audience doesn't care. The real fix? Stop trying to be seen and start making people feel something. Because that's the difference between posts that get scrolled past and posts that spark DMs, conversations, and sales. Today, I'm breaking down the 5 types of content that don't just boost your numbers, they create connection that converts. You're listening to the From Scratch podcast, the podcast for bold entrepreneurs who are done with cookie cutter advice, done with burnout, and done with building businesses that don't actually feel good. I'm your host, Kary, a near $1 million course creator, brand strategist, and business coach for women who are ready to do it differently. 7 years ago, I hit a level of success and still ended up crying on the bathroom floor. So trust me when I say, starting from scratch isn't about starting over. It's about taking your power back and rebuilding on your own terms. Every week, you'll get unfiltered stories, bold strategies, and the mindset shifts you need to build with soul, sell with strategy, and grow something that feels like you. So let's get into it. Just the other day, I was scrolling on Threads and saw someone say, posting on Instagram is starting to feel pointless. Hundreds of people agreed, and honestly, I get it. Especially since coming back after my 10-month break, my own engagement hasn't been what it used to be. My likes are down, my comments are fewer. But here's the thing, I know how to rebuild it because the same strategies that once helped me grow to 10,000 followers in 10 weeks and generate over $183,000 in sales still work. They worked while I was away, and they're working now as I lean back into them. Here's the twist. While my numbers may be lower, my posts are generating more DMs than ever. In fact, just recently I shared a reel that was short and real, not polished, not perfectly branded, just me sharing my opinion and a piece of my story. Even though that post didn't get a ton of views, comments, or likes, within hours, someone messaged me saying, "Hey, I've been binging your posts. How can I work with you?" 24 hours later, she was a client. And that's when it hit me. Likes are nice. Comments are fine, but real engagement is when someone takes the next step closer to you. When your words make them feel something so strongly, they stop lurking, reach out, and invest. Because people don't engage out of obligation. They engage when they are emotionally activated. When your story sparks recognition, when your honesty creates empathy, when your content makes them pause and think, wow, that's so me. So if you've been showing up, posting, and wondering why no one seems to care, this episode is your reminder. Your audience isn't waiting for more posts. They're waiting to feel you. So let's get into it. Here are the 5 types of content that create engagement that actually matters. Content type number 1, transparent content. Transparency is showing the real picture, not just the curated one. People's brains are constantly scanning for what feels safe and trustworthy. When all they see is polished, perfect content, it actually creates distance. They feel like you're hiding something. But when you show them what's real, you trigger a sense of relief in them. Relief lowers resistance, and that opens the door for engagement and connection. One of my students had been posting only polished carousels. Pretty, yes. Memorable, no. Then one day she posted her messy desk, toys everywhere, and her coffee spilled on her notes. That post got triple the engagement because her audience finally thought, she's like me, I can trust her. So here's your move. Post one honest behind the scenes this week. It could be your messy desk, a launch you're still figuring out, or the not so glamorous truth about how you get things done. Watch how people lean in once they see you as real, not perfect. Content type number 2. Vulnerable content. Vulnerability is sharing the struggle, not just the solution. Why does this matter for engagement? Because when you admit your own struggles, you give your audience permission to admit theirs. And when they feel safe enough to admit, they comment, they DM, they connect in meaningful ways. Vulnerability turns your post from a broadcast into a conversation. I kept my bathroom floor story hidden for years, thinking it would make me look weak. But the day I shared it, my inbox filled with messages like, "Thank you, I thought I was the only one." That single post built more depth with my audience and my brand than any look at my win ever could. So here's your move. Think of one story you've been avoiding because it feels too messy. Write about it without trying to tie it in a neat little bow. Vulnerability doesn't weaken your authority, it deepens it. And it makes your audience feel close enough to actually respond to you. Content type number 3, story-driven content. Storytelling is how people remember you. The human brain doesn't latch onto data points, it latches onto narrative. That's why we can recite movie lines we heard 10 years ago but forget a fact we just read yesterday. Story lights up more parts of the brain than straightforward information, which means people remember them and remember you. One of my clients was stuck in tips mode, endless educational posts that no one engaged with. When she shifted those tips into story form, like telling about the time she froze in front of her first client meeting, her engagement doubled. Same lesson, different delivery. The story made people feel it, not just read it. So here's your move. Take one tip you would normally post as bullet points and tell the story behind it instead. Share the moment you learned it, the mistake you made, or the client who lived it. People may forget your advice, but they'll remember your story. And that's what matters most. Content type number 4, motivational content. Motivational content works when it's rooted in truth, not inspirational fluff. When people see evidence that someone like them has overcame something hard, it shifts their belief in what's possible for themselves. That belief creates energy. And energy sparks action. When I shared that my most engaged follower used to be my mom, people didn't just like the post. They messaged me saying, if you started there and built this, I can too. That one story motivated them not because it was flashy, but because it was believable. And one of my students did the same. She wrote about almost quitting after 3 months of no sales, but then finally signing 5 clients the next month, and what she did to make that happen. That story got more shares than anything else she'd posted because it moved people from doubt to possibility. So here's your move. Share one win this week, but tell the backstory too. Don't just say you signed a new client or got a new customer. Share the rejection that came before it, the doubt you felt, and the moment you almost quit. That's the difference between empty inspiration and motivation that moves people to take action. Content type number 5, controversial content. And then there's controversy. Taking a stand. This works because people are hardwired to notice tension. When you say something that challenges their current belief, their brain pays attention. Even if they disagree, they're more likely to comment, share, or DM you because you woke them up. I once posted why the algorithm hates you. Half the comments were cheering me on and the other half were debating me. But that post outperformed almost everything else that month because it sparked emotion and thought. One of my clients, a wellness coach, posted, you don't need a daily workout routine to be healthy. Half her audience clapped back with, but discipline is everything. The other half messaged her saying, thank you, I've been waiting for someone to say this. That one post didn't just get her likes and shares, it filled her DMs with conversations that led to new clients. So here's your move. Take one belief you hold that goes against the grain in your industry. Say it with confidence. Let people have their opinions. The goal isn't to be liked by everyone, it's to be remembered by the right ones. So let's pull it all together. Transparency builds trust. Vulnerability builds connection. Storytelling makes you memorable. Motivation inspires belief, and controversy sparks conversation. If you want more meaningful and profitable engagement, stop chasing trends and start making people feel something. That's how you move your audience from silent to engaged. And if you're ready to master this, I want you to join me inside my free Content That Works workshop. Inside, I'll teach you the 3 secrets to creating a binge-worthy feed that doesn't just get likes, but gets customers, clients, and brand partners. You'll learn how to weave together different content types into a strategy that feels natural, aligned, and truly magnetic. You can grab your spot at the link below or at karyperry.com/content-workshop. Look, don't wait on this. The longer you stay stuck in low engagement, the longer your audience stays silent. So let's fix that now. Because the truth is, your audience wants to engage with you. You just have to give them something worth leaning into.